It has been a rough week for wrestling fans, to say the very least. This time last week, fans were coming to grips with the fact that one of their heroes, one of their icons, might not be the man that they thought he was. And now, 1 week later, to the day, those same fans are coming to grips with the fact that one of their heroes, one of their icons, is no longer with us. It was reported today that Roddy Piper, Roderick Toombs, passed away in his sleep overnight. He was 61 years of age. The reports I was seeing today was cardiac arrest related. It's a very sad day for wrestling fans. When you pair this with the fact that just a couple of months ago, Dusty Rhodes passed away. All these, just another one of these huge names just gone too soon. And of course, earlier this year, Vern Gagne died as well. So, you know, you're hearing all these stories, and like I said, this week alone, it's been a very rough week, like I said. So today, with this episode I'm making here, there's no script. I'm already kind of rambly. I just want to kind of like get my thoughts, kind of free-flowing thoughts about Piper out, and I want you to express your thoughts about Piper as well in the comments section below. When I started watching wrestling late 90s, you know, my appreciation for Piper wasn't really there because I knew he existed. I knew who he was based on what I saw of him as a child, but I didn't really appreciate him as a character because I didn't really know what he was or who he was, what it was all about. But then, of course, as I watched more wrestling, and then, of course, as I started training to wrestle, especially under Buddy Rose, who was Piper's chief rival when he was in the Portland territory, I got to appreciate Piper as a worker a whole lot more. Piper's style, it wasn't like any other wrestler you could really point out and pick. His style was so just kind of wild, man. The closest I would have to say is probably, you know, Randy Savage in terms of his frenetic, just out there, all over the place kind of style. Savage, of course, a little more graceful, but I mean, Piper still had that kind of animalistic tendency in the ring. You know, no one could cut a promo like him. There's no one out there, except maybe for Dean Ambrose today, who could come even remotely close to a Roddy Piper promo. His style was one of a kind, and that's what I think helped really cement him as the legend he is today, or those crazy, shrill promos that he would cut in WWF. What else can you say about Piper? You know, he was a wrestler, he was an actor, you know, he even had a bit of a stint as a singer too. Look up I'm Your Man on YouTube if you want a good laugh. If you haven't read his book, In the Pit with Piper, I recommend you do so, because that really, you know, you read it and you hear Piper's voice in your head, and it's like, sometimes you read a book from a celebrity and you think that the audiobook would be better because you think the audiobook does his voice more justice. Piper's book, and you know, this is published well before the audiobook craze took over, you hear his voice in your head when you're reading it. And sometimes the book comes off like the ramblings of a mental patient, but I mean, that's Piper's style, and that's how he talked, and that's how he delivered. And his story is so unique, and it's so interesting in the book. I really recommend you read it. The Born to Controversy DVD that WWE produced several years ago, that was very good as well. So, I mean, it's got stuff that, you know, not every Piper fan knows about. There's a little bit of his Portland stuff in there, but that's all over YouTube too if you want to see that stuff. If you want to see what he was like just before he got into the character that he became, you know, because it was Portland, then the Carolinas, then WWF, basically. So if you want to get a good glimpse of what he was like before he was the finished product that he was in WWF in the 80s, look at the Portland stuff. That's really cool stuff. I did meet Piper once, very briefly, in Las Vegas 4 years ago. It was for the Cauliflower Alley Club. I tried to get a word in with him, say hello, but he was very busy. It was a very busy time. It was kind of hard to grab his attention. So, and I personally know a lot of my friends up at the Northwest worked with him very extensively when he was an executive producer for the Portland Wrestling Revival on the Fox affiliate up there a couple of years ago. So I know my friends are definitely feeling this as well. My heart goes out to Piper's family. Not only his nuclear family, but also his wrestling family, all the fans whose lives were touched by Roddy Piper and his presence and his career and his accomplishments. It's definitely, like I said, it's a crummy way to end a week, and it's definitely the bookend to what has been a crazy week for wrestling fans. For those of you who are watching this, you know, please leave your thoughts about Piper. What are your favorite Roddy Piper memories? Leave them in the comment section below. Be sure to, you know, share this video if you can. Be sure to subscribe to Wrestling with Regret. I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.